for the men, if you're trying to understand this cycle, you need to look at the moon, and here's why. You're going to have two different types of calendar systems that tell you when the moon is in which sign. There's traditional and there's sidereal. Traditional is basically from the Earth's perspective. Sidereal is basically from the planetary objects perspective. Look at where the moon is. If you want to use a traditional system, that's fine. Look at where the moon is. So right now, the traditional system would say, let's just theorize if it would say the moon is in Aries. Let's say that you are in Aries. Let's say your birthday was April 1st. Okay, we're just going to go real basic here. Your birthday is April 1st. All right. And the moon is about to be in Aries. Okay, well, first of all, you have to wait until the moon is in the sign before, which is Pisces. Okay, the reason is because you need to give your body ample time to prepare for this process. You can't just start the process when it's starting, because that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of the sacrificial element. So you want to give it 3 days for preparation. You want to give it 3 days for the process itself, and then you want to give it 1 extra day at the end of the process as a rest. Like how God created the world in 7 days, and on the last day he rested. You take that approach, okay? The first 3 days are going to be when the moon is in the sign before your sun sign. So if you were born April 1st and you're in Aries, and the moon is in Pisces, right when the moon goes into Pisces, that's when you want to start preparing. And that's at the latest, all right? You might even want to do it a couple days before that. So then you wait those 3 days, okay, while the moon is in Pisces, because it goes Pisces and then it goes to Aries. So the 3 days is for preparation. And then the 3 days where the moon is in Aries is the days that the combination of chemicals is going to sit in your brain. And then the last day is to give yourself a buffer day, okay? 7 days. And this is what you're going to do during these 7 days. Every single day. You're going to exercise by doing cardio. All right? At least a little bit. If you're a guy and you want to do weightlifting, if you're a girl and you want to do squats or whatever, yeah, sure, go for it. But you're going to need probably at least 15, 20 minutes of exercise each one of those days. Your diet is extremely important. No sugar, no caffeine, no alcohol. You have to remain a certain level of alkalinity. And what that means is a certain pH level in your body. Because if your body is too acidic, so if you eat too much dairy, if you eat too much sugar, if you consume too much alcohol, your body will become acidic. And if it's acidic, it will become very lower in vibrations, which will affect the process of this chemical combination, because that's basically what it is. It's the vibrational frequency that you have in your body determines whether or not this chemical composition is either going to be able to survive and doesn't dissolve, or even if you're able to bring it up in the first place. So what you eat is extremely, extremely important. You want to go for alkaline foods, blueberries, spinach, kale, salads, For those 7 days, I would eat meat maybe once or twice that week.
Stay away from highly processed sugary stuff.
Yeah, no sugar. Absolutely no sugar.
It's horrible for you.
It's very bad. And the reason is because sugar assists in calcifying the pineal gland, same with caffeine, and same with alcohol, and same with tobacco.
And that's aside from all the fun mainstream stuff like diabetes, heart disease, increased levels of fat.
Right.
Oh my God, it goes on.
Right. So you already know that stuff's bad for you. So your diet is very important. Now, I'm not saying that you have to eat like raw kale for 7 days straight. I'm saying don't eat a lot of sugary stuff. Don't consume a lot of coffee. Don't eat a lot of chocolate, all right? Don't overeat either. You want to be light. You want to be light and fluffy and full of air and energy.
The bad foods, and especially overeating, which Dr. Carey talks quite a bit about, is not only in extreme cases, this is actually kind of interesting, but in extreme cases of overeating and overconsumption of alcohol, you can essentially have more or less, I guess you can think of it as, this is probably very scientific, but a sort of sludge buildup in your body of just stuff that your body is taking time to fully get rid of. And this can ferment, and you can actually have small amounts of alcohol develop in your body as the result of its bodily processes. There's actually a thing that's called auto-intoxication, as Carey calls it. I think the modern day phrase that they usually use is, I think they use auto intoxication. One of the main things is called gut brewery syndrome. Now this isn't very common, but the point that we're making is that one, overeating and overindulging in alcohol and food can lead to this, and it also naturally makes your body more acidic. And an acidic body is not a happy body, and it's much more difficult to cultivate this substance, this Jesus seed, if you will. And also just to keep yourself healthier. Your body has a very specific pH balance that likes to keep it at, but it prefers to be more alkaline than acidic.
Yeah, 7.3 to 7.4 I think is the range.
And this is also why, if you ever notice, after you have a particularly large meal, or even if you have something that's particularly fatty or particularly acidic, you'll notice
lethargy,
and it's not just a sense of, oh, I'm so stuffed I don't want to move. That's definitely a part of it.
Right.
But even when you don't have that and you're not completely stuffed, you'll notice that your brain just feels kind of groggy. It kind of feels like it's in a fog. It does feel very lethargic.
Meditation, also very important. I recommend that you do 20 to 30 minutes of meditation, as well as yoga, because you need to be able to stretch and get your spine and different aspects of your body aligned and blood flowing and ready to be able to be a host for this chemical brewery of sexual alchemy combinations. You must not masturbate. The Kama Sutra from India is actually a very good book on how you can manipulate Kundalini sex alchemy, where you can do different positions and different breathing techniques and different ways to connect with your partner in order to harness more energy. But one of their big facets that they talk about is, if you're a man and you're trying to harness the energy, you must not finish. I think that covers most of what you need to do during that process. I mean, the other caveats are, don't feel negative, don't play into the 7 deadly sins, don't play into lust, greed, envy, wrath, sloth. Be active, exercise, eat properly, meditate and pray, and try to find interconnection.
And consciously, deliberately, and willfully direct your thoughts to your goal.
Yes.
And envision the goal being done. And what's really interesting here is that this overlaps exactly with ancient, medieval, and even modern day magic.
Yes.
Which is that,
with a K, magic with a K.
Real magic, which is really just in essence a different form of prayer, I would say. But the overall point is the same.